Welcome friends to One Stop Java Solutions. I am Snehasis and today I am going to explain you the difference between object-oriented programming and the process-oriented programming. Okay. So we know that the Java is object-oriented programming and the C is the process-oriented programming. Okay. So what is the difference? Basic difference between object-oriented and process-oriented. So in every computer programs consist two elements. Okay, one is code and another is the data. Okay, so if you see or if you notice that in C we are focused on what is happening. Okay, what is happening means we are focusing what you have to do. Okay, so that means suppose the same task you have to perform in C language or in Java. In case of C you have to emphasize on what is happening or what you have to do. Okay, but in case of Java or object oriented programming you have to focus who is being affected, that means on data. Okay, so in case of C we have to emphasize on the procedure. Okay, means what you have to do or what is happening. Okay, but in case of Java or object oriented programming you have to emphasize on data. Okay, who is being affected, data is being affected or not. Your main focus should be that the data should not be affected from means outside your class. Okay, so that thing I will describe later, means what is the encapsulation and how you have protect your data. So today I show you a simple example that we are taking two integer numbers and we try to add them in C and as well as Java. Okay, so here I am writing opening dev C++ and here I am writing a simple C language code. Okay, okay, so here I'm writing a C code. So C we have to start with as include, we have to include this one as include stdio.h. Okay, so this is the header file you have to first include. Then every C program start with main method. Okay, int main, and here I am try to means add two numbers. Okay, so for that I am taking the variables int number one, okay, number two, number one, number two, and I store the result in arrays result simply. Okay, and then I have to first means take the input from console. Okay, so printf, then give the some message that here we can use the slash n, so it will show you in next line slash n enter two integers, enter two integers. Okay, and then I will give the semicolon, and then I am writing that scanf, we are taking input from console using scanf, then I'm writing that percent as these are the integers, so I have to use %d. Okay, and here I stored this value to number one and number two, number one comma number two. Okay, so here I am storing in number one and number two. Then I am writing a method called something just do to sum two numbers. So result, I am giving the result equal to, I will create a method. Okay, sum two numbers, that is number one comma number two. Okay, so I am calling this method and after that I will print the result. Okay, so print f, then I will print. Here you can use the slash n to, it will give you in the next line. So sum of two numbers, sum of two numbers, sum of two numbers. Okay, I have to percent t and the output is in RES result. Okay, so I have to print the result. Okay, and here after the main method I will write the sum function. So it will return integer value int sum, and it will take two values, int num1 int num2. Okay, and here I am taking int suppose res, and here res equal to num1 plus num2 and return res. So this is the code. Okay, so it's done. So here you can see we are only, what we are doing, we have just take to declare two variables. Okay, then enter the numbers, and then scanf, means using scanf we are taking the values of these two numbers from console, and then call the sum method and print the result. Okay, or in sum method we are sending these two values, and we are returning, adding those two values and returning the result. Okay, so this is the thing. So I am saving this. Okay, so here I am giving the suppose sum. Okay, and this is a C source code, so you have to choose C source file .c and saving to desktop. Okay, so if I compile this code, okay, there is some space. Same time, yeah, compilation successful, no errors, no warning. That means compilation successful. Now I am running this code. Okay, so enter two integers. I am giving suppose 5 and 10. Okay, and here sum of the numbers is 15. Okay, so this is the C code. Okay, so we are adding two numbers. Okay, and I am printing the output. So in C, this is a simple. So we just declare these two variables and take the values from console, and then the sum. So here we are performing the summation operation. Okay, by calling a method let sum. So here you can see we are mainly we are means giving, means focusing on the addition method. Okay, rest of the things are same. Here means data, there is no concept of private protected. Okay, like that. So here the data, all the data are, means we are sending the data from one method to another method. Okay, and we are changing the values of the, anywhere we can change the values. So there is no, means we are not focusing on the data, we are only focusing on the sum method. Okay, but in case of Java, okay, I am showing Java, opening Eclipse, and here I am inside my YouTube demo. I am creating a method. Okay, so I am giving the method the same name I can use. So here I can creating a class. Okay, and giving the name as suppose this is a object oriented, so oh, demo demo, so demo. Okay, object oriented programming demo, and I am creating the main method as well, selecting the publish requirement. So here in C++, sorry, in case of Java, we are starting from the main method. Okay, so inside main method here, so here before doing means writing code inside this class, I am creating another class. Okay, class, and I am giving the name as sum. Okay, so this is the class, and in this class I am creating two variables, and in case of Java, the best practice is we have to take the variables as a private. Okay, so private, we are taking the same num1 and num2. Okay, sorry, int, you have to integer type, two variables integer type, and then I will generate the setter and getter method. Okay, so go to source, generate getters and setters. Okay, select these two variables and click on OK. So it will create the setter and getter. So what the setter and getter method? So if you have to set any values in these two variables, into one or into, so you have to call this setter method. Okay, and if you try to access the values of these two variable, you have to call the get method. So outside this class sum, you cannot directly access these two variables. Okay, so if you, in case of Java, in case of C, you can see here is no such restriction. Okay, so the data move throughout the program, and anywhere you can change the data. Okay, so there is no restriction, and means no protection of data. Okay, so in case of Java, this is the best, means the main part of the object oriented programming, that we are focusing on the data. Okay, instead of what you have to do. Okay, so you have to means mainly focus who is being affected, that means data. We are main emphasis is on data. Okay, so this is the main thing, and then you have to write the method. Suppose I am writing a method, okay, for addition. So int, suppose I am giving the name as add. Okay, add, and I am returning the values, return num1 plus num2. So I am adding these two values and returning the values of these two variables. Okay, and outside this class sum, how it means every Java code will start inside means from main method. So here you have to write the means you have to take call this method. So how you will call the add method? So first you have to create an object of the sum method. Okay, so how you will create the object? So sum, suppose object equal to new sum. So that means we are creating the object. Okay, so outside of the class, if you try to access this variable, okay, you have to must create the object. So that is the concept of object oriented. So every time means for any class inside the class, you can declare the variables. Okay, or the means on data, whatever the data you want to means element, that is the data element. Okay, so then the data element whatever you are accessing, okay, outside the class. So if you try to access the data element outside the class, you have to first create the object of that class. Okay, so without creating object, you cannot access. Okay, so first thing, then you have to create the scanner class object to take the input from console. Okay, so I am writing string.out.println, enter two integers, the same thing whatever I am writing here, I am just copying. Okay, sorry, it's ent here. So enter two integers, the same thing I am copying here also, enter two integers. Then I am writing a scanner object, scanner sc equal to new scanner. There also you can see that we are using the scanner class, so that's why you have to create the scanner object first. Okay, so we are creating the scanner object, and then using this object sc we will call sc.nextInt. Okay, so this is built-in function for Java. So we are first creating the object of that function, and then call the method inside that nextInt inside the scanner class. So we are creating that nextInt. Okay, so sc.nextInt, so we are we are setting the value. So object obj dot set num1. So we are this integer value we are setting to the number1 variable. So for that we are directly called like this way. Okay, so what it will do, it will take a one from console, it will take one variable values. Okay, and it will set that value to number1. Similarly we are giving two inputs. Okay, so we in the second values we are object dot set number2 equal to sc.nextInt. So we will provide two values from the console, and we will set the values to number1 and number2 the object object of sum. Okay, so first we have created the object of sum class, and then using that object we are set the values. Okay, then we will call the, so we are closing the sc object. Okay, and then what we will do, we will print the result stem.out.println. Okay, so we will do the same sum of two numbers. So we will copy the same thing from here, sum of two numbers. Then what is that, we are calling that obj dot add. Okay, so add is my method name, so we are calling the object. So whatever means we are doing here, whatever we are doing, we have to create first object, and whatever values you want to access outside the class, you have to call those method or the variables by those method by the new object. Okay, with the object reference you have to call those variables, those values or variables, whatever you want to access. Okay, so this is the thing. So here you can see means what we are doing, first we are restricting the access of these two variables number1 and number2 outside the class by using the private. Okay, then we are creating few methods. Okay, so these methods are public, so that's why we can access we can use those method outside the class. Okay, and to call those method you have to first create the object, and then only you can call those methods. Okay, so and here we are writing the add method inside that class, and we are returning the addition of two numbers. Okay, so this is the object oriented programming in Java. So here we are focusing on the data. Okay, so you cannot modify data outside the class without calling the method. Okay, so here data are not freely moved throughout the program. Okay, so data, we are encapsulating data. Okay, so that thing I will describe, how what is the encapsulation and how we will protect data, and what are the scope, what scope we are using to declare a data member or element. Okay, so this is the main thing. So if you now run this code, so you can see here that enter two integers. Okay, suppose I am giving the 5 and 10, and here you can see that summation of the number is 15. Okay, so this is the thing, in case of I show you the two programs, one in C, that is the procedure oriented. Here we are mainly focusing on what you have to do. So for that for small program Java is little bit difficult, but if you go to for a big project or big program, then object oriented programming is more means complexity is less, okay, than the procedure oriented. But in case of procedure oriented, if you use the means if you write a big code, then it will means it will difficult to manage the code, okay. You cannot means you can divide the code in a procedure, but still there is no data protection, so that's why it is difficult to manage anywhere any data. If it is changed, then it is difficult for you to track where you are changing and how you do. But for in case of object oriented programming, you can see that the data is more secure, okay. So you cannot directly change the data without calling the method, okay. So you cannot means data are not free to throughout the program, okay. So anytime you have to modify any data, you have to call a method, and only using that means calling that method you can modify the data, okay. So this is the basic thing. So in case of object oriented programming, okay, we are mainly focusing on the data, but in case of procedure oriented programming, we are mainly focusing on the procedure, means what you have to do, what is happening, okay, like that. So that is the things. And the object oriented programming is the core part of the Java, okay. So means in most of the cases, meaning means only few, there is some means exception, and apart from that, means most of the times in Java we are using the means we are using object, okay. So this is the thing, and understand the basic principles before you go through Java programming. So these are the basic principles of Java, okay. So hope you understand the difference between object oriented and procedure oriented. So thanks for watching this video, and if you like my videos, you can subscribe my channel, okay. Also share with your friends, okay, and click on the bell icon, so that once I will upload the next video, you will get the notification.